Hey guys, doing a quick comparison video. We're doing Bergara versus Remington 700. Both of these are chambered in the 308. So first off, I firmly believe that if you're able to have at least or more than two rifles, you need to have at least one Remington 700. Preferably one of the older models. Um, Reason being is because compared to the newer ones, the older ones are much better quality, and a lot of the internals, it doesn't really feel like they skimped out, on the older models. The newer ones, you can kind of feel some of their budget options that they've applied in some of their newer lineups. Um, and so, with that said, if you're on a budget and you technically can only have one at the moment, Bergara is built based off of the 700 platform, meaning you can find parts everywhere. Um, and stock swaps, they're extremely easy, stock and chassis, because just about everyone does a 700 stock or chassis. Um, and between the two, if you want to talk about value, the Remington 700, this is going off of the new basic models. Um, you're going to be about 800 to 850 just for the rifle. The trigger, it has a lot to be desired, so a lot of people swap triggers out. In this one, I have a Timony trigger. It's a very nice, very crisp trigger. Um, and that would run you about 100, 150. But for argument's sake, we're just going to round it up to 100. So 800 for the rifle, 100 for a trigger. You're at 900. And then the extractors on the newer 700s, they can tend to have some issues. Usually once you hit about 500, 500 rounds, give or take. And so extractor, about $80. So now you're about 980. And then if you wanted to get into distance shooting, a knob swap will be one of the more favorable customizations a lot of people do. With the 700, what has to be done is they usually will cut the knob off and then they'll put some threading on. And then you'll be able to easily change out your knobs that way. And Bergara, a lot of their lineups, they already come with a very nice knob. And they also come with an upgraded extractor as well, and extractor spring. Let's see. So we're at about 80 to 100 for adding the bolt knobs. So total, trying to get the Remington 700 up to par, you're looking at about $1,100. If you like the stock that it comes with, you can buy a kit to where you can have a detachable magazine. And those will usually run about 100, 150, possibly even 200 depending upon the brand. And that would push you to about $1,200, $1,300 total. And when compared to the Bergara, well, this is the BMP. BMP, it runs about 950, 980. It already comes with a chassis, free floated barrel, bull barrel, threaded. And of course, I already talked about it has the upgraded extractor, the knob, and the trigger is about a 2 to 3 pound, and that's factory. Also, adding on to the Remington 700, if you don't like the stock or chassis it comes with, most chassis run about $250 to $500. So, going off of that $1,200 mark that we were already at, adding on about $250 to $300, you're going to be pushing about $1,500. So, going off of estimate of $1,500 just for the rifle. the BMP line of Bergara, about 900 already. Don't need to do a trigger job. Everything extractor wise is taken care of. So between the two, to get the 700 to where the Bergara already is, you'd essentially be looking at $1,500 versus $1,000. And Bergara, they started out originally as a barrel manufacturer and ended up swapping and starting to throw out their own line of rifles. And I believe most of the American Bergaras are coming out of a shop in Georgia. And the rest of the money is going to be in accessories. On the 700, I have Arcan Optics. That's about a $500 scope. And on the Bergara, I have the Vortex. It's the Razor HD 4.5 to, I believe, 25 optic. That's about a $1,900 scope, roughly. And standard set of bipods on the 700 versus Atlas bipod. Atlas bipods, they're extremely nice. They have no play whatsoever when they're engaged. And worth the investment, especially if you're trying to shoot at steady distances, 600, 700, 800 yards. And other than that, that's the sum up of both rifles. Other than that, I'll probably end up doing separate videos. One video for each rifle. Just depends on if there's any interest in either one of the rifles. Other than that, go ahead, like, subscribe if you like the content. And other than that, shoot down in the comments if there's any questions on any of the materials or any websites as well. I usually can throw some links out there. But other than that, y'all have a good one.